The devil cuts a terrifying figure. Whether he is enticing the first inhabitants of paradise with forbidden fruit, or murdering the firstborn of a faith other than the one he was serving, King Paimon, one of the other 72 demons, is the one who inhabits the human form in the Hereditary film. In addition to the fact that most frequent churchgoers are only aware of one devil, the possibility of offshoot is beyond horrifying. So in today's interesting take, let's explore this less well-known demon king. The first mention of King Paimon is found in the grimoire from the middle of the 16th century known as the Lesser Key of Solomon, which was written by an unknown author. He leads 200 legions of angels, is one of Lucifer's most devoted followers, and is related to the Tree of Death. Aleister Crowley names King Paimon, a former member of the Order of Dominations, as the ninth spirit in the Goetia, commonly referred to as the Lesser Key of Solomon. It reads the following: Paimon can teach all arts and sciences and other secret things. He can discover unto thee what the earth is, and what holdeth it up in the waters, and what mind is, and where it is, or any other thing thou mayest desire to know. He giveth dignity, and confirmeth the same. He bindeth or maketh any man subject unto the magician if he so desires it. He giveth good familiars, and such as can teach all arts. Well, that doesn't seem all that bad. Adept initiate magician Greg Bismarck, who has been practicing over 40 years, asserts that Paimon is a devil, only to those who demonize him. He appears to be a genie in the same way as in Aladdin and the lamp were. The jinn are magical creatures in pre-Islamic Arabian mythology and religion. Don't expect them to appear on a flying carpet, though. The image of the king of the desert demons is described as the shape of a man seated upon a dromedary with a crown most glorious upon his head. He is accompanied by a group of people who appear as a host of spirits, including men playing the trumpets, cymbals, and other musical instruments. He has a loud voice that roars when he first appears, and a magician needs to be coerced in order to understand his speech. Although the jinn were mortal, they were feared because they sometimes brought sickness and lunacy. According to Bismarck, the 72 spirits are essentially 72 psychiatric illnesses of the unconscious mind. He then draws an analogy of the sexual perversions among evangelical Christians. What develops in the dark often grows perverted. These spirits are believed to have endured millennia of torment at the hands of wizards, who have cursed and condemned them. Paimon is described as to be noticed towards the west in the Lesser Key of Solomon, which might be interpreted as a reference to the left-hand path. Between the order of angels and potentates, he has 200 legions of spirit. If he is invoked, he will have 25 legions, 2 kings named Labal and Abali, and other spirits who are members of the order of potentates in his host. Solomonic spirits are often called upon using ceremonial magic. All rituals in ancient grimoires are evocations rather than invocations, since they are constructed from a Christian perspective. According to Bismarck, the goal of summoning any jinn is to redeem them by enabling them to carry out their respective roles in a controlled way. However, if you choose to rub the lamp, the most crucial thing to keep in mind is to not take advantage of the tenant. The magician will receive devoted service from a jinn if they are given the correct tasks to do and are not mistreated, according to Bismarck. In a way, the jinn resemble the loan sharks of the spiritual realm. Spirit Paimon alone, thou must make him some offering. In the movie Hereditary, Charlie, the daughter of the afflicted, serves as a mortal conduit for Paimon, and as retaliation, she is ritualistically beheaded. Images of the great King Paimon typically include female characteristics. The majority of faiths are patriarchal, and the male authors of the literature pictured men riding camels rather than females. In fact, the mythology of Mesopotamia originally regarded Paimon as a deity. Therefore, it is possible that Paimon from the movie was in the appropriate body when it was initially used to rectify the gender bias of ancient history while still in the womb. Let's think about this in terms of mathematics, since that is usually the language of magic. Female is unfavorable, and male is a good thing. A balance is produced by masculine and feminine forces. Now, for the most interesting part, what is the guide to summoning the king? During an invocation, a spirit is summoned by the caster, due to the fact that it allows for direct unfettered contact between you and the demon. It varies from the conventional rituals contained in grimoires. One of these rituals entails drawing a sizable circle on the ground, one that can accommodate the caster and the demon, and setting a candle in each of the 4 cardinal directions. Invoke the demons Leviathan to the west, Belial to the north, Lucifer to the east, and Flarios to the south. They shall each serve as the defender of earth, air, fire, and water. They invoke Satan to bind and harmonize the ingredients in the center. When everything is finished, reach out to Paimon and invite him into the circle. He will hopefully respond to your queries and carry out your demands. Summoning as a group may be advantageous due to the fellowship of a demonic cabal and the increased energy accessible to the demon being summoned. Wait until dusk and set up the ceremonial area with candles and incense before calling Paimon collectively. Together, grab hold of each other's hands and extend a hand to Paimon, chanting his name and requesting his presence. He can choose whether to communicate telepathically or through the voices of the other people present. If he does so, be prepared with inquiries and requests, as well as an invitation to show respect. When the rite is finished, wish Paimon farewell firmly, yet graciously. You are free to break the circle when everyone is prepared. Now wait, time for an important disclaimer. Everything being said here is just information. To act on it or not is your decision. Let's continue. A sacrifice may tempt Paimon to appear. Place a lighted candle in the center of a pentagram. Prick your finger, letting a few drops of blood flow out. Then call Paimon using blood magic as securely as possible, demanding Paimon's presence. Call him out. Put out the candle after letting a few drops of water fall over the flame. If the ritual is successful, Paimon should appear to respond to inquiries and grant requests. There are chances that you might have to go through some bureaucracy before you can talk with Paimon, just like you would with any other leader or regent. There might be a network of lesser demons that act as your intermediaries and interlocutors so that you can communicate with Paimon. So in order to discover King Paimon, you might need to persuade and coerce demons. But let's say you did manage to summon him. What then? Sources say Paimon shall arrive in his usual grandeur. His appearances vary somewhat, but his magnificence is emphasized in every narrative. Paimon is a man with a woman's face and is decked out with pricey jewels and a golden crown. Anyone contemplating summoning Paimon must take into consideration the amount of noise he makes. The voice of Paimon is too loud and forceful, hurting anyone who hears it. In order to comprehend the devil, you must kindly request that he speak more gently. He is preceded by a large number of spirits that can take the form of men and perform loud fanfare on a variety of horns, cymbals, and other musical instruments. And that is all about the real demonic rituals relating to Paimon. What happens next is, well, up to you. If you loved our dive into the king's history, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. We'll see you next time. Until then, watch your head.